Hello, and welcome to Something. I'm Dena.
And I'm DiAnna.
Hello, DiAnna. I would ask you how you're doing, but just full disclosure, Diana and both are having some kind of weird sinus pressure headache, but this is going to make us happier. Talking to you guys is going to cheer us up, I think.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Let's get
Okay.
started.
All right. I want to start with listener feedback, and this is from a listener. His name is Kevin Toman. He's actually a veterinarian, so Dr. Kevin Toman. And
Mhm.
he wrote in to say, your recent 3 and 30 episode was a blast to listen to. Blast is always good,
Yeah.
unless you're on the other end of a shotgun.
Yeah. No.
The segment on manufactured meat, you remember that story?
Hmm.
Had me grinning. I think we were like, "Bleh." But it was your chat about will you live for your loved ones? You would die for your loved ones, but will you live for your loved ones that hit home? The way you approach tricky questions with a sense of humor and genuine curiosity is what makes your show such a joy. Isn't that nice?
Oh, I
Oh.
so love this man.
And once again, like the nice letter we got last week about our Giggles and Gratitude episodes that are every Sunday, where we talk about our faith and how we it affects our everyday life through the week, and we learn together because Diana and I certainly don't know everything about faith. She was complimenting it by saying you make it accessible with humor and curiosity. So the fact that he says this about our You Know Something episode where we're have fun and learn together and are curious, it really touches me because that's again what we've been trying to do. And we are curious.
Amen. We
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Please let him know how much that appreciate. I just so appreciate the time that it took for him to do that.
Yeah, he's a very busy veterinarian saving our little fur babies. He also told me a little bit about himself, and he's been a veterinarian for over 40 years. And he said, my work these days is all about helping your furry family members live their happiest and healthiest lives through evidence-based medicine, proven supplements, and even prescription longevity drugs, all delivered to your home. He specializes in wanting his pets, especially his dogs, to live as long as possible, which I think we all want that.
Amen.
So I'm going to include a link to his, you could contact him and see what his protocol is. He's kind of got an innovative protocol, I get the impression, for
Hmm.
longevity for your pets.
Yay.
If
That's
we're,
awesome.
I think so too. If we're ever become a guest formatted podcast, which, you never know, I think he'd make a great guest, and I would have a lot of questions for him.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
what I would want to know is why do big dogs seem to live less years than little dogs? Have you ever wondered that?
Hmm.
You think it'd be the opposite.
I just think they should live out the same lifetime we do. We have the
Uh,
same pets all of our life.
that would be so nice. And then we grab them and go to heaven with them, even though they're not ready. Like we're going.
Oh no, they're ready. They're going with mama.
Okay. I won't ask what that means. Okay, so today we're going our 3 and 30, Diana, and I just wanted to, we always try to make our show um, not family friendly necessary, but it's not a kid's show, but just the language and the topics we choose are okay if your child is in the room or in the car with you. But the topics today are include the birds and the bees. So if your children don't know about the birds and the bees and you don't want us to be the one to educate them, you might want to not listen with
Hey
them.
Dena, what's the birds and the bees? I
I'll tell
saw
you
them.
later.
Okay, I was gonna say I saw them on TV this morning.
Bees are very important.
Bees are. I love the honey.
Yeah, I was reading an article today that bees are the most important creature that exists. We need to do a segment on that, so I need to do more research. But yeah. All right, so today we're talking about three different topics regarding relationships. And we're not going to be crude about it, but something may come up that's a little too grown up for your child. So we'll get into it now. And also, I have to say, my caveat here is I am not married. I was married for many years and have been not married for many years. And I don't intend to get married again unless I just run into like the most perfect, handsome, rich, perfect personality guy who's totally crazy about me, has no baggage. And so I think maybe a robot might be in my future. One of those AI husbands might be in my future because I
I
don't
was
know
going to
that that.
say, I think you just went through the whole filter section.
Yeah, I have friends ask me, I want to fix you up with somebody. What do you want? And that's exactly what I tell them. And they're like, Dena, be realistic. I said, why? You're the one who wants to fix me up. I didn't say I wanted to be. Why would I not want all those wonderful things?
Amen. And they are coming your way when it's the right time.
Yeah, we'll see. And then Diana is in a wonderful relationship with her honey bunny. So when we're talking about any problems in a marriage, we're just talking about let's just talk about a pretend marriage in our brains. It doesn't have anything to do with our relationships that we may or may not have. Does that make
Yeah,
it better?
makes it better.
Okay. All right. Or you could talk about a past relation. You could be thinking about a past jerk or something if you want. I've got plenty of those to think about.
Mhm.
Okay, this I thought this was very interesting. A photographer who specializes in like engagement photos, couple photos, and even
Mhm.
wedding photos says she has discovered over the many years she's worked that there's subtle red flags she notices while taking photos, whether or not the marriage lasts or not.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
I found that very interesting. So this is from mypositiveoutlooks.com if you want to read the article for yourself. But it says a photographer shares the subtle red flags she has observed over the years that may signal a relationship won't last. Now, I guess we've all done the engagement photo where you go stand out in a pasture together or run along the beach, your engagement photos, your engagement announcement, and then your wedding photos. Do those typical poses that you do. Did you do that?
Oh gosh, no, we had my best friend fly to Puerto Rico with us and we got to have fun and I had like almost 3,000 pictures. So no, we were in the pool, we were getting married, we were having fun, dancing, lounging. So yeah,
Oh.
we didn't do all that. We did a few poses, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, yours was all candid, real stuff, not
Yeah,
composed.
yeah.
That's nice. Okay, so this wedding photographer who spent many years behind the camera said she sometimes sees signs a relationship won't last just by watching how couples behave during a photo shoot. Ona Vincente has photographed many couples who are preparing to get married. Over time, she says she has learned to sense how partners connect with each other on camera. This is so interesting to me. What may look like small moments during a photo shoot can quietly reveal deeper patterns about how two people treat each other. She says you spend enough time with couples and you develop a spidey sense. She explains that the short time she spends with couples during engagement or wedding photos often shows how they communicate and support one another. I could see that.
Hmm.
Now, she's not claiming she's going to predict the outcome of your wedding, but listen up if you just got finished with your photo shoot. You may be a little upset. Okay, she says that these patterns have been repeated over the years, and she finds out that these couples have struggled later. And maybe you have deeper issues that are unresolved. Some warning signs are obvious. I mean, like if you start rolling around and wrestling each other and roll down the hill, you probably have some issues, but others are smaller.
So sorry, I had to just gaggle laugh at that. That was funny.
I can picture
Yeah,
it.
that's a red flag, I think, for sure. It's waving fast and furious too.
I hope she got a good shot of that as they were going down the hill. I hope she's running along beside him. All right, the first one. Let's get to the things. The first one, their outfits. What they
Hmm.
wore feel complete.
Wow.
They're totally out of sync with each other. Like one of them looks like they're going to the prom, the other one looks like he's going down to the convenience store to get a hot dog and some skull, maybe, or vice versa. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that that needs to be coordinated. The male does not always know what the female has an expectation of what he is to wear. So most females put effort into making sure the guy has something appropriate that matches her attire for your wedding photos or your engagement photos. I mean, come on, we got to communicate. If we're not communicating on that level, people, you are not going to communicate when it gets to really stressful, hard times.
I agree. I think that's what it's communication. And you think about guys, and we're going to stereotype here, and there's always exceptions to the rule, but guys are not really concerned about the aesthetics. They're not thinking about matching colors and coordinating moods. They're just like, tell me where and what time to show up, and I'll be there. If you want to lay out clothes for me, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. So, maybe you don't.
Done.
One moment she often notices is when partners arrive dressed in ways that seem to disconnect from each other. The couple may look as if they're headed to two separate events rather than sharing the same experience. And it could be that the female said, "Let's wear blue. You wear a blue suit or sports coat," and he shows up in a sweatshirt. That is a whole different problem. Maybe she did communicate, this is what my vision, and he's just being stubborn about it or not taking it seriously. That could be
Right.
a bad indicator. Or you, like you say, just not communicate, expecting him to read her mind. And I'm kind of, again, stereotyping. All right, I could see that. I could see that. Number two, one partner refuses to remove certain clothing. Hmm. Another situation that can stand out is when someone refuses to remove a piece of clothing, such as a large coat, just for one photo, like, okay, over here, take the coat off and do this. And they refuse to do it. She says moments like this can sometimes suggest discomfort or hidden feelings during the session. To me, that would sound like they just don't want to be there or they think it's too much trouble or what's a big deal?
Yeah. And just being defiant.
Yeah,
And that is not a good characteristic to marry.
I agree. Being stuck in your ways and not flexible. Small disagreements, this is number three, small disagreements turn into arguments. She's also seen couples argue over very small details during the shoot. These disagreements may seem minor, but they quickly create tension and slow the entire session. I would think if you're comfortable arguing in front of somebody you just met that's taking pictures in a happy occasion, that's from a bigger issue. That would stem from a
That That's right. And if you're going to argue like that, you need to be respectful of your photographer and either ask her to step out while you two worked it out or you two step out. That's not appropriate to have an argument in front of a professional as they're doing a service for you.
yeah, yeah. And you're paying them by the hour,
Right.
probably. Let's get with it.
Not obviously not enough.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, the next one is jokes start to feel hurtful. In some
Mhm.
cases, couples make jokes about each other that do not feel playful. Instead of laughter, the comments come across as mocking or unkind.
Hmm. That doesn't sound attractive to me.
Uh-uh,
Who wants to live in a place where the person that should be lifting you up is putting you down?
exactly. I agree. I could see playfully doing that, but I think you can tell the difference. And obviously, she has seen the difference where one of them's mocking the other, maybe the way they're smiling or standing or, yeah, not nice. This should be the best time of your life, exciting
Yes,
and yeah,
yeah, for both of you.
right. And then aggressive behavior. Uh-oh. The most concerning situations occur when someone becomes aggressive. She says she's witnessed moments where people use harsh words or engage in physical aggression to their partner. That would be like rolling down the
Yep, that's
hillside.
yep. We're gonna put that in that same category.
According to relationship experts, these behaviors can sometimes reflect deeper communication problems. Another reason they may appear among the signs a relationship won't last. Communication matters, as DiAnna said. Experts say these moments often point to a key factor, communication or lack thereof. Healthy communication is widely considered one of the strongest foundations of a lasting relationship. Dr. John Gottman, a well-known researcher who studies relationships, has spent decades observing how couples interact. His research shows that the way partners communicate can reveal a great deal about the future of their relationships. I totally agree with that.
Me as well.
He says he can observe a couple and predict with more than 90% accuracy whether they'll
Mm,
stay together or get divorced. Oh my gosh. Ah. His conclusions are largely based on how partners talk to each other during everyday moments. Hmm. Psychotherapist Eliza Davis explains that strong couples are not perfect, and that's not what we're talking about here, perfection. Instead, they can work through misunderstandings when problems arise. She explains that healthy partners can navigate misunderstandings and repair their connection after a conflict. When hurtful words are said, they recognize the problem quickly and take steps to apologize and build trust. The ability to repair communication often distinguishes healthy relationships from those that show early signs of not lasting. That's what I think. I think everyday little things, the way you communicate those, if you're having problems in just everyday little decisions and interactions, then I don't think you should get married.
no.
Of course, it can be a stressful time. She recognizes that. So, photo shoots, some people just hate to have their picture taken, or they see the first little proofs that she shows them while she's taking. They're like, really? Do I really look like that? Have I really gained that much weight or whatever? Or oh, I look so old or something. It's like that can be a stressful thing, especially for a guy, I would think, because it's just not their bag to do that, I don't think.
I agree with that. But we still have to act within control and within normal limits.
Yeah. Therapist Cheryl Groskopf, she works with people experiencing anxiety, and she says this can be an emotionally intense situation, photo shoots, and it can trigger stress responses, even in happy couples. You already told me how great your wedding was in your photos, but did you feel stressed at all or nervous or?
I only felt nervous during the ceremony, kind of walking down there. But no, I didn't have any nerves. We were just having so much fun. We were so excited to get married.
Yay. Well, she says when people are overwhelmed, the brain shifts into survival mode. I kind of get that way when I'm stressed. I kind of lash out at people I love, and I'm not really even mad at them. I'm just in that fight or flight thing. The
Mm.
prefrontal cortex of your brain, which is responsible for patience and thoughtful communication, gets quieter, while the threat detection system gets louder. So they may be sharp and short-tempered when they really would not normally be. Stress can cause people to be more emotional than they normally would be. Would you like to hear green flags?
Yeah,
Okay, let's do the positive side.
yeah, I like positive.
They support each other when things feel awkward. Some couples quickly step in to help the other partner if they're feeling shy or uncomfortable with a certain pose in the camera. Instead of criticism, they give them encouragement and reassurance. Yeah,
Yep.
like you look beautiful. No, you look beautiful in that dress. It does not make your butt look big. They get excited to tell their love story. Couples light up
Oh,
when they share the story of how they met. That's a little trick I do when I'm with a couple. And because I'm a single person, I'm sometimes a third wheel at dinner and parties and things. And when I feel tension between the couple or they snap at each other or something, and I'm kind of like, I always say, how did you guys meet? Even if I know, I'll say, I forgot. How'd you guys say you met? And everything changes. They get
yeah, yes.
reminiscent. And
Love that.
yeah,
Great. That's a great idea.
it's just a trick I kind of figured out. Their excitement and shared memories often lead to genuine smiles during the photo shoot. So she'll ask them and then keep taking pictures. How'd you meet? Because it's usually
Yeah,
there's a little funny story to that usually.
yeah,
They laugh easily together. Laughter is another powerful sign. Couples who laugh together tend to be more relaxed, comfortable, and tend to stay together.
yeah. And you know what? You have to work on laughter every day of your marriage. Make sure there is something fun, or you will lose sight of what your goal is.
Yeah, if you're not having fun, kind of what's the point? But you do get in that survival mode and stress mode and work mode and
Right? And
Forget.
I was going to say, and you got to remind yourself daily that you have a spouse and that you have a person that's dependent on you too. Keep them in line.
Exactly. They seem to be on the same page. She notices when partners align on their plans and expectations. Being in sync often reflects deeper trust and understanding. Relationship experts often look at similar patterns. They pay attention to how often partners try to connect, whether love comes up more often than anger, and how people respond when their partners offer feedback. So, like, honey, maybe you ought to put all your hair behind your shoulders. If she says, don't touch my hair, I've got it just like I want, that might be a bad sign. But no two people are perfect, of course, like we said. In the end, a strong relationship is not defined by the absence of conflict by any means. It's defined by the willingness of two people to repair, reconnect, and keep choosing each other, even during life's hard moments. And of course, she says this is not a surefire way to predict the relationship. It's just something that she has really found to be true over the years. So, I mean, I don't know. Would you go to take photos with your partner and they do all these things? Do you say, Dena and DiAnna told me I shouldn't marry you because you're doing all these
Absolutely, that's what she says.
things? I think
Because we're right.
that's right. We have all these experts behind us. Well, I would just say if those things come up, to go to counseling, or to bring it up right then,
Oh,
step
yeah.
over here, hon. This is what's bothering me about communication, like you said.
Hmm.
This is why I'm having an issue. Okay, our next story, which is relationship related. Let me bring it up here. Let's say you ignored all those red flags and you got married anyway.
Yep, I did that one time.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, you're not.
Oh, no. That's just why I can speak with some authority and some knowledge on this.
So you did see red flags
Oh,
beforehand.
yeah, absolutely.
You
Hmm.
just felt like, we'll work it out. I've come this far. I'm into it now, or what were you thinking?
I'm a fixer. So,
Ah,
yeah, I was young and thought things would change, but they didn't. So,
yeah,
and it's okay. I learned a big lesson from it. So, when
yeah,
you do ignore the red flags, eventually you're going to get tired of those red flags hitting you in the face and you're going to look at them,
yeah.
see why they're there, and stop.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, so you're in the marriage now. This marriage therapist reveals the top complaint women have about their husbands. And this is not pick on husband dates, just we are women, so we kind of see it from a female perspective. So if you're a male listening, Dr. Toman. No offense.
Mm,
No offense. Okay, a marriage therapist reveals the number one complaint she hears from women's clients about their husbands. Corinne Voller is a speaker and online educator from Minnesota whose practice focuses on couples on the brink of divorce. Okay. This is one of the top things I hear from women as a complaint. Now, do you want to try to guess what it is just for fun?
sure. She feels he doesn't communicate or see her anymore.
That's a good one. And I think this is could kind of be that. It says the number one complaint is women say that their husbands are waiting for them to tell them what needs to be done rather
Okay.
than looking at the situation, whether it be you're having a party or people are coming over and he's not looking around and saying, well, I need to take that trash out, or look, this table could be wiped off, or he's
Okay.
waiting for you to tell him. And
Okay.
then it could go deeper as to you come out, you're going out to dinner and you come out in a new dress and your hair all fixed and he doesn't say, oh, you look great, or what you have to say, how do I look?
Right.
You
That
want
is
him.
something that's important to a female. All of you people who are out there listening, females like to be complimented on something. Find something, the hair, the necklace, shoes, color of her eyes.
Yeah. Don't you think I look good? You shouldn't have to say that.
Right. Right.
Bowler goes on to discuss the difference between active responsibility and passive responsibility. Let me see what that means. Active responsibility would be you looking around the house. Okay, so I just said around the house for things you could do and taking responsibility for the things that need to happen within the house. I mean, if there was a dish in the sink and you were busy, and I don't know what the dishwashing situation is in your house, but and we're talking about your past relationship, let's say, and he walked by the sink and you weren't feeling well, you had a headache, and you laid down, wouldn't it just make sense to get that dish and wash it off real quick, put it in the little drying rack? And
Yeah, but
whereas,
that
go
didn't
ahead.
happen. I said yes, that would be great, but that didn't happen.
Right. They expect you to say, would you care to wash those few dishes there and put them away for me? Because I feel horrible. I'm going to bed. And after a while, you think, why can't you see that this is your house too? And it could have been even their dish or their glass, let's say glass.
Right.
And it didn't occur to them, maybe you could clean that up and help me out. Okay, passive responsibility would be being available to help, but waiting for somebody to tell you what needs to be done. Oh Lord, I went through that. The excuse would be, I won't
Laziness.
do it the way well, that's probably it. But the excuse told was, I knew I wouldn't do it the way you wanted me to, so I just thought you would want to do it. Or you're the one who always does that. And I don't know where to put it. I don't know how to load the dishwasher. I don't know where the dishes go. That kind of thing.
They're not interested in learning either.
Right, right, right. Women want a spouse that's actively responsible for the house and for the children and not waiting for the wife to tell them what to do. Bowler's insights prompted thousands of viewers to comment and share their own experiences. Judging by their stories, it was passive responsibility is a common cause of problems in a relationship. I don't want to have to ask. A partner should anticipate and observe your needs. But I'm also like you. I think you need to tell people. Don't expect him to read your mind. And tell him what, three times? And if you have to keep telling him, then that's a problem.
Yes.
So if that is the situation you have, I think communicate it. We're running out of time. So I think communicate it and then just decide how many times you're going to put up with that repetitive behavior. I'm not pro-divorce, but how many times do you put up with that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a bad mood today because I have a headache. Counseling, 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 people. I'm going to go to the next story here because we're running out of time. I'm just seeing what her conclusion is. But I think you don't think about that problem and voice it out loud. It's just something that happens and you don't even realize it. So to see it written out, a person should anticipate your needs makes sense to me. I think that could be representative of a lot of problems.
Yeah.
They're not
Agreed.
aware. They don't know you enough to know what your needs are, I guess is what I would say. Okay, now this is where we get into the more sensitive subject. So, last chance to get your kids out of the room. When you lose your virginity may impact how well you age, Diana.
Wow.
Hmm,
Okay, explain.
okay. This is according to the New York Post. Would you think the earlier you lost your virginity would be more healthy for you or the later you lost your virginity?
I would say the later.
Very good. The age you first bump and grind, that's what they're calling it here. We're calling it birds and bees, could affect your experience with father time. A new study found that when you lose your virginity may impact how well you age later in life, including outcomes like frailty and misery into adulthood. Misery.
Strong word.
Okay, and we are not going to discuss our sex life here, but our findings suggest the timing of the first sexual, and this we're talking about intercourse. I'm just going to say the word may be connected to aging through multiple psychological behavior and disease-related pathways. That's according to Casey and Wang. And again, I'll include a link. We may not get through this. We're going to run out of time. In the study, researchers at Shandong, that's apropos, University in China analyzed a large genetic database to find DNA markers associated with the age people make their sexual debut. Let's call it that, sexual debut.
There you go.
The team then looked to see whether people who carry genetic variants linked to earlier or later sexual activity also showed differences in health, quality of life, and older age. They found that those with genetic signals tied to earlier loss of sexual debut tended to have less favorable aging outcomes, including higher frailty and poorer longevity related measures. Then we explored why this might be. Do you have any ideas why it might be, Diana?
I would think hormonal.
Oh, interesting. Like you're just aged quicker. Like,
Hmm.
because I
Yes.
thought boys were yucky for a long time. So, to determine why, the researchers looked at 145 possible factors that could explain the connection between sexual timing and later life health. Of those, 34 were worthy to be examined further. Frailty index is and miserableness is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, and ADHD. In other words, there's a link between early sexual experiences and worse aging. These four factors. Why do they keep repeating the same thing over again? Lung disease is often associated with smoking, and ADHD related traits tied impulsively appear to be the strongest factors behind it. It's kind of like if you were very young, especially if you're a female, when you had your sexual debut, you may be in an unstable home. You may not think highly of yourself. You may not have parental guidance. Therefore, you may smoke. You may feel stress and trauma later in life. So you may smoke, do drugs. You may have ADHD because you probably didn't have a good experience when that
Agree
happened.
with all that you just said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe you had a lack of self-respect, maybe guilt later, and maybe continued that pattern. Um, I just don't think it's good for a person whose brain is not fully developed to become sexually active. I don't think it's good for their mental health.
Right.
Maybe they just don't take care of themselves as well. Researchers said the findings point to the importance of addressing health risks early before they build up and contribute to worst outcomes in life. You also could get like HPV, sexually transmitted diseases,
Hmm.
especially if you're with someone older, more experienced when you're really young,
Hmm.
someone taking advantage of you. Um, and it's actually a great trend that kids now, I'm going to say young adults now, are waiting longer to have sex than they did in our era, which you'd think it would be younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. National surveys show that the median age for the sexual debut in the US hovers around 17 years old, but it's going upward. Um, in 2021, only 30% of teenagers that were 17 had their sexual debut. They told the CDC they had never had sexual intercourse. So you could believe that. It's not like they're telling their parents or anything. It's telling on a medical form, I guess.
Right.
So I think that's great that because I feel like
Amen.
sexual is
Mhm.
just free, free love, and people dress crazy now and all that. But when it comes to doing the deed, they're actually being more careful and waiting longer. And I think that might have to do with just not being as social. You're online communicating and everything's virtual.
Right. True.
Okay. We're running out of time. There's more to it. I think it's very interesting. So I'll include a link. You guys can check it out for yourself. So, Diana, any final thoughts on today's episode?
So I would just say listen to the warning signs, see those red flags, and make sure that the very first time you have your sexual
Yeah.
debut, is that what we calling it? Uh, that you think about that long and hard and make sure that you know the person and that you know that that's a good step for you. And if you don't feel that way, then don't do it.
Yeah, and I think because probably most of our listeners are older, your kids may be starting a lot earlier than you think, and you need to have that talk, I think.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I can't believe we're completely out of time. I was just getting going good. All right. Thank you again to our listeners, and we love to hear your feedback. It's great. Even bad feedback will be helpful to us, so we appreciate that too. I love you, Diana. Um, bye. You want to say bye?
Okay. Everybody have a great day. Bye bye.